Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us again this afternoon. This is Sam Ho with the San Jose Evergreen Community College District and also with Cali Today News Network. Miss Karen Martinez is a trustee for the San Jose Evergreen Community College District, and we come with you again this week. Today is Thursday, the 25th of June, 2026. And we are one day earlier this week because of scheduling situation. So this will be aired probably on Saturday morning. But we want to be able to talk with you today on this bilingual, trilingual talk show. It's a community strength forum where we can discuss issues and topics that are current as well as are educational. So we welcome you to be with us today on this community strength education emphasis talk show. And this afternoon we're talking about important values that we share among communities in San Jose, California. In particular, two of the larger communities here are the Vietnamese American communities and the Mexican American communities. So we like to share with you some of the common values that we have as two major communities here, Spanish speaking and Vietnamese speaking. And certainly we will also find that as an American, we do share many of the common values that really help strengthen our community. So this afternoon, our trustee Karen Martinez will be able to share with us the values that she know about the Mexican American communities as well as the mainstream communities, because many of our people are first generation, second, third generation, and so forth. And as we all know, Mexican Americans have been in the United States since before it became the United States. And also the people from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, and from South America, and many places from the world, throughout the world, are here in Santa Clara County, and that makes us a very rich community, very strong community, and we are the Silicon Valley, the innovation center of the world in terms of innovation and all the advances. So we're very proud of being in Santa Clara County, and I'm sure diversity has played a very important role in that. Thưa quý vị, chiều hôm nay là thứ năm, ngày 25 tháng 6 năm 2026, chúng tôi có dịp đến với quý vị một lần nữa trong chương trình Sức mạnh cộng đồng về giáo dục. Thì chiều hôm nay bà Karen Martinez là một vị dân cử ở tại San Jose Evergreen Community College District, có nghĩa là hai trường đại học San Jose City College và Evergreen Valley College. Thì bà được bầu vào trong cái chức vụ của hội đồng giám sát, cũng giống như là một cái hội đồng quản trị của hai trường đại học này. Và những người được bầu lên đây gồm 7 người tất cả. Họ thật sự là người xếp chính trong cái môi trường đó, cái khu vực trường đại học đó, và được dân bầu lên để mà họ điều động những cái chính sách của hai trường đại học đây này. Cho nên những người mà làm việc ở trong hai trường đại học này là thật sự làm việc ở dưới cái sự giám sát và chỉ thị của họ. Cho nên chúng ta rất hân hạnh được có sự hiện diện của bà trong suốt khoảng chừng 7 tháng nay, từ hồi tháng 12 năm 2025 trong chương trình này hàng tuần. Thì chúng ta rất quý cái sự hiện diện của bà ta. So I just mentioned how important, valuable you have been able to contribute to this conversation as a member of trustees of the San Jose Evergreen Community College District. So thank you very much. If you don't mind, just start with maybe a little in English and then Spanish.
Sure. So, again, I think some things that are some similarities, I think first and foremost is our family values. I think family values is something that we both I believe our communities share, both in our Asian community and in our Latino community, because not just Mexican Americans, but Hispanics, Latinos in general. And I believe that that's something that is very much prioritized. However, of course, let me see, because I believe I'm third generation. So
Yeah, meaning born here,
correct.
Third generation. Yes.
Correct. And so it was my great grandparents that were born in Mexico and then, of course, migrated here. But my mom was born in San Francisco. My father, however, was born in Mexico. But so different, and as the generations evolve, I think that so do the values, right? Because I think we get accustomed to our environment, and I think that that's something that I've seen in our Vietnamese Asian community and also in our Mexican Latino community is some of that evolvement. Some good, maybe some might say different, and so I think that's up for further conversation, right? To the individual. Maybe I'll say that in Spanish a little bit. Sobre ahorita, algo que es similar es dentro de nuestras culturas, es que familia, la cultura de familia, poniendo familia primero, eso es algo que los otros dos, es algo muy alto que es importante para nosotros. Pero como estaba explicando, es que cuando uno nace aquí puede ser la segunda, tercera generación, pues cambia, dependiendo cómo uno sigue su cultura. Pero esto sigue siendo algo que es importante para nosotros dos de culturas.
Yeah, so family, for my understanding is that the Mexican American community place a strong emphasis on family, and so Vietnamese American community do also have that importance place on the family relationship. And do you feel that's the same way for the mainstream American community, as we all are American of different backgrounds?
I think it is definitely different, but here's an example. So an example is for my mother's generation was that you don't leave home until you get married. My generation is kind of when we started to a little bit evolve, and we didn't necessarily have to be married to leave. And my children's generation wants to leave but can't leave because it's very expensive, right? But I also see my children's generation evolving in the sense of some of those family values, for whatever the cases, haven't necessarily continued. It just really depends on where you're at in the generation of being, an American, here on U.S. soil. First gen, I see those values still kind of are at the forefront, where second and third, it's changed just due to the environment. So that being said, I mean, I've even seen some of that similarity within our Asian Vietnamese community. For example, our native tongue. I speak both languages. My children know, but they don't necessarily speak the both languages. And I'm finding the same in our Vietnamese community. So, this younger generation of our Vietnamese, individual students and those things speak primarily English. And to be perfectly honest with you, for me, that's a bit, it saddens me, because then we lose our traditions, our culture, our heritage, our so many of the things that I'm grateful for, passionate about, and proud of. I'm proud of my native tongue, and I'm proud of our culture. And it's just that, how do we continue that? I think is something that I see similar within our Vietnamese community, as far as speaking English versus Vietnamese. So. Yeah.
Thưa quý vị, thì bà Karen Martinez, bà có nói rằng là ở trong cái văn hóa của người Mễ ở đây, hoặc là người Tây Ban Nha ở đây, thì họ đặt nặng về cái tinh thần gia đình, và gia đình rất là quan trọng đối với họ. Và Sam cũng có chia sẻ rằng là trong cộng đồng người Việt của chúng ta đó, thì gia đình cũng là một vấn đề rất là quan trọng. là một phương diện rất là quan trọng trong cái nền văn hóa của người Việt của chúng ta. Thì bà có nói rằng là bà là thế hệ thứ 3 ở tại Hoa Kỳ này, mặc dù bà là người từ gốc Mễ, nhưng mà coi như là những ông bà cố của bà đó thì là sinh ra ở, dĩ nhiên là từ bên Mễ qua bên Mỹ này, và những người con của ông bà cũng được sinh ra ở tại Mễ và qua bên Mỹ này. Thì khi mà bà bên này, bà được sinh ra ở tại Mỹ này đó, thì là bà là thế hệ thứ 3. Thì bà thấy là có sự khác biệt ở trong cái cộng đồng mà nói là người Mỹ gốc Mễ hoặc là gốc Việt, đó là có những cái sự thay đổi trong vấn đề gia đình. Thí dụ như là gia đình ở khi mà những trẻ em mà đẻ ra ở tại Mỹ này đó, thì cái thế hệ thứ nhì đó họ có thể là khác biệt với lại cái thế hệ thứ nhất một tí xíu. Giống như là thế hệ thứ nhất đó thì khi mà đứa con nó lớn lên nó không có ra khỏi gia đình cho tới khi nào nó lập gia đình thì nó mới ra khỏi gia đình. Nhưng mà cái thế hệ mà sinh ra ở đây đó thì có những cái trường hợp mà những người con họ có thể ra ngoài khỏi gia đình mà họ chưa có lập gia đình. Rồi bây giờ tới cái thế hệ hiện tại đó thì là dường như là con cái của họ được đẻ ra ở tại đây, nhưng mà vì đời sống họ rất là khó để mà ra ngoài riêng liền, cho nên họ có thể là ở với gia đình lâu hơn. Thì thay đổi theo những cái thời gian và cái thời điểm. Cho nên trong trường hợp này thì bà thấy rằng là trong cái cộng đồng người Mễ và người Việt đó thì cũng tương tự, là khi mà những người mà sinh ra ở tại Mỹ này thì họ nói tiếng Anh nhiều hơn tại nhà, và bà cảm thấy rằng là đó là một cái sự mất mát, bởi vì là cái ngôn ngữ và cái văn hóa của mình rất là quan trọng để mà mình duy trì nó, để mà mình cho cái tiếp tục để mà mình đặt lên những cái ưu tiên của những cái văn hóa đó. Thì quý vị thấy là trong cái cộng đồng Việt Nam mình dường như cũng một phần nào tương tự, là con em của mình được sinh ra ở tại đây thì mấy em hay nói tiếng Anh nhiều hơn. So yeah, our children do speak more English here. And certainly we cannot expect them to speak, the mother tongue very well.
Right.
But as you mentioned, it's really important to be able to maintain the language, because that's really the value system that is very important to have.
Definitely.
So I do think that's also very important there. And then with that, we know that American society places more importance, big emphasis on individualism, right?
Yes.
That is a main difference.
Right.
Where I think there's benefit to that. Whereas, when we try to become independent early,
Right.
if you are 18 years and above, you should be thinking about being on your own and
Correct.
being independent.
Correct.
It has its strength in that area.
Definitely.
But at the same time, it comes with a cost, and I
Right.
think that
Agreed.
I think that I lean more toward to still own the old-fashioned ways more.
Me too.
I really
Me too.
don't think that it's necessary for children to have to be independent that early at
Right.
18, 19 years old, just because
Right.
they are 18 or 19 years old,
Right.
because they're not ready for it yet.
That's right.
And but if they are ready, the sooner the better, and that's very true.
Yes. Yes.
As your case, right?
Yes, definitely.
You began to have your family
Very
really
early.
early on, and you'll be able to buy a home even
Yes.
when you are 23 years old or so.
Yes.
How many of us today can afford a home at 23 years
I know.
old? So
Right.
there's a benefit to that, to be
Absolutely.
independent. So it depends, but
does.
I still lean toward staying with your family as long as you can, because
Yeah. No,
that
definitely.
relationship they don't come back.
Right. Right.
So that's the value of being close to the family and
Even taking care of our elders, right? I
Yeah.
mean, for me, taking care of my parents, my dad in particular, because his health isn't very good, I feel like that's just something that comes natural. That is something that I do and would do. and I think I saw that modeled as well. My parents with my grandparents, but I think then that's that family, culture,
Mm-hmm.
and even though that it is slightly different with this newer generation, it's kind of they want to go and then they do, but at the same time I think for ours that if our parents or someone from our family they need help in some way, we're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the evolvement of if you're maybe a third, maybe even second generation, that mindset somewhat changes. And that's where I agree with you. I'm a little bit still in that older mindset, is that we're to take care of our elders, and we're to hold them with much regard and a tremendous amount of respect. And so that is definitely something that's evolving. Similar, I would say, because it's something that I've also seen in our Asian and our Latino community, but different, right?
Yeah, so I think that very important that we think of the family relationship where when you can take care of your parents or the grandparents, that's really important there. And I think that the more we can keep that practice, the better it is.
Right.
Because considering the healthcare costs is so expensive these days, but I think that it is so unnecessary for our parents to be isolated from our life when at the time when we needed them most. They were there with us to raise us, but then when we are strong enough and they become weak, then it's just reciprocal that we need to take care of them in their own age and their weakness when they're weak.
Absolutely.
That becomes a big responsibility that many people want to practice, but it's reality of life. It makes it very difficult for them, and we totally understand that.
Definitely. Definitely.
But the idea of family units that are there for each other is very important. So in the Vietnamese American communities, and I think it's probably the same in the Mexican American community, is where in the family the older child usually has a great responsibility of not only taking care of the elder parents, but also to watch out for their younger brothers and sisters.
Yeah, very true.
Is that how it also is?
No, extremely. That is definitely true. And I think in our Latino community, it's also because many of our family members work 2 or 3 jobs. And so it has become more customary that then the oldest child is caring for the younger siblings or cousins or whomever. And we don't have the ability to stay home as, for example, like my mom was able to stay home, although she chose to work later in years. But, and that's not the case in this day and age. I mean, not even for me. I mean, having to work is a necessity. And so I think that is something that's evolving. But I would agree. Yeah, no, definitely.
So also in terms of education, let's talk a little bit about that, because from my understanding, education is important in almost every culture. Emphasizes the importance of education. Can you share with us how it has changed in the Mexican American community?
Oh, it so has changed. It's changed. I would say I've seen a visual change maybe the last 15 years, maybe close to 2 decades now. Where education was something that we did, but it was to do so that we could go to work right away. And now it's changing. It's about going to school, learning a trade, or continuing on in higher education. And that is something that I've been very much a part of in our community, because not necessarily myself having that push growing up, but it's something that I've definitely emphasized with my children and grandchildren, And that is definitely where I'm seeing it change. So we have more, historically now in Santa Clara County, more Latinos going to and being able to get into four-year universities, historical like never before. And I think that those, I don't know, this is just my own perception, that our Asian community and our Latino community, that wasn't necessarily something we both valued equally. But that's definitely has changed. And I would say that I think that's something that we've now seen the benefits of. We've embraced it, and I think that that's something that we have been able to work together. We have a lot of high-performing schools in our county where there primarily are Vietnamese, Latino, and are going to four-year universities. And so that is definitely has changed and evolved. So
Why from the last 22 decades, and how is it different from before?
So I would say in the work that I've worked to do is sitting down, talking to our Latino families in particular, at the dinner table, in the living rooms, talking about the benefits of education and how, because many, for example, it's very interesting. I find it very ironic that many of our Latino students don't do very well in math. And I find it very interesting. So when I've had students in which I've been able to mentor and work with, I always remind them, our heritage, we did very well in math, right? I mean, we have calendars, Aztec, so many things built, pyramids and those things like in Mexico. And so it's embedded in us. We just need to grasp it and just unleash it and not be afraid of that. But as far as, within education in itself, I think showing, because it's also changed. Latino men primarily have been very, girls don't go to school. That has now changed. But it's convincing. It's been convincing those fathers that the benefits that your child can get an education and make triple the amount of money that the dad does to then help support the family after. And that had to be seen. And I would say we're barely reaping that, I would say, this generation currently, that I can visually see it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Thưa quý vị, thì chúng ta đang nói về cái sự khác biệt hoặc là những cái điều mà tương tự giữa người Việt, người Mỹ gốc Việt và người Mỹ gốc Mễ. Thì bà có chia sẻ với chúng ta là những cái giá trị ở trong gia đình người Mễ, trong cộng đồng người Mễ đó, thì họ đặt nặng về cái ưu tiên của gia đình và cái ưu tiên của vấn đề giáo dục. Thì bà nói rằng là trong mỗi gia đình đó thì là thường cái sự tôn kính cho người già lớn tuổi nó cao, rất là quan trọng. Và khi mà trong gia đình thì người mẹ, cha mẹ của mình già đi thì con cái thường cũng cố gắng để mà lo chăm sóc. Thì đó là những cái tương tự giống cộng đồng người Việt. Về vấn đề giáo dục thì bà nghĩ rằng là trong thời gian khoảng chừng trên hai thập niên qua thì cái suy nghĩ về giáo dục ở trong cộng đồng người Mễ có thay đổi nhiều ở cái điểm là họ chú tâm nhiều về vấn đề giáo dục hơn. Bởi vì trong cái đời sống của họ thì nhiều khi cha mẹ phải đi làm 2-3 việc, cho nên thời giờ và lo công việc đời sống cho gia đình hàng ngày nó rất là quan trọng, cho nên nhiều khi họ rất là bận trong cái công việc của họ. Nhưng mà sau này thì họ càng thấy rõ rằng là những người mà có giáo dục học cao hơn, như là vào bằng trường đại học 4 năm vân vân như vậy, thì lương bổng của họ được tăng nhiều hơn và đời sống nó tốt đẹp hơn. Cho nên là họ cũng khuynh hướng là tìm cách để mà khuyến khích con em của họ đi vào trường đại học để mà có những cái cơ hội tốt đẹp hơn. Và đặc biệt là trong cái ngành mà toán học đó thì là họ cũng có cố gắng, tại vì họ nghĩ rằng là mỗi một người đều có cái khả năng để mà giỏi toán hết. nhưng mà đó là một trong những cái lĩnh vực mà họ muốn khuyến khích con cháu của họ luôn luôn là tiến bộ hơn trong lĩnh vực giáo dục, đặc biệt là trong vấn đề toán học, tại vì nó đóng vai trò rất quan trọng trong đời sống của chúng ta. Thì về vấn đề mà cộng đồng Việt Nam của chúng ta thì chúng ta cũng thấy rằng là vấn đề gia đình rất là quan trọng, và vấn đề mà nuôi dưỡng cha mẹ của mình khi mà họ già yếu cũng là một cái vấn đề rất quan trọng, và người con trai trưởng hay là người con gái trưởng trong gia đình hay lo lắng cho cha mẹ của mình, và đồng thời cũng lo lắng cho các con em của mình. Cho nên đó là những điều mà thật sự là trong hai cái cộng đồng người Mễ và người Việt cũng có nhiều cái giá trị rất là giống nhau ở trong lĩnh vực về vấn đề gia đình cũng như vấn đề mà giáo dục. So maybe you can share a little bit. I just mentioned and share about how important family is in the Mexican American communities, as well as education is a very important role, play a very important role into improving life survival abilities. So with that, maybe you can share with the Mexican American community or the Spanish speaking community there, because so far we see a lot of commonalities that both communities do share.
Sobre educaciones que yo he visto personalmente en el trabajo, lo que ha hecho para dar más oportunidades de escuelas, para exigir nuestros estudiantes latinos que pueden ir a una universidad y cambiar el futuro de nuestras familias, pero eso ha sido un proceso para que pues, muchos de los papás latinos realmente no han visto la necesidad de educación y cómo le iba a ayudar, pero lo que yo he visto es que estudiantes que han ido a la universidad y han podido regresar para enseñar que sí hay valor, hay diferentes maneras de trabajar duro. Uno puede trabajar duro con sus manos, su físico, pero también hay otras maneras de trabajar igualmente duro, pero es con sus talentos de su educación. Y eso ha sido un cambio que ha visto.
Yeah. So from what we talk about family and education, I think that it is not, I don't think it's an either or kind of situation. I would say that you can always put family first, devote your energy and your dedication to building that family and to support the elderly parents and the younger brothers and sisters. And that is a very important role to keep and to continue, I guess, really for the rest of our life. Personally, I still think about how can I be of support to my brothers and sisters. Right. Because not all of us are at the same place. Correct. And if we are more fortunate than the other brothers and sisters, that's right. Then, for me, I always kind of think, how can I be of help for them? Exactly. In times of need. Exactly. And I think that it comes from that family tie. Yes, absolutely. That whether we ignore it or not, exactly. It exists, right? Sure. And it's on that level of consciousness that we don't forget. Yes. So family, and while we are family focused, it does not require that we have to let go of individualism, because we can grow as a family, as a community, as a group. But at the same time, we must realize that we are individuals, that we develop our own independence, our own ways of thinking, or our own value system, in order for us to have that individual characteristics. Yes. And we may be a little different, each one of us, but then yet we need to have that independence so that we can be on our own, right? So both are really important to make sure that we stay on track. Yes. And I also think, slightly off topic, but somewhat the same, is a lot of, because now many of our students go to same schools, which is primarily Latino and our Vietnamese or Asian population. So with that, there's a lot of
mixing of dating, and that's evolving into, which is good because we do have similar values and customs of family, and that is something that is very similar. So it's easier to kind of continue those things. And then I feel hardworking. We're very hardworking, and I think both of our communities are equally hardworking. It's just the definition to some looks different, right? In the involvement of that. And that is something that I've worked to emphasize with our Latino male parents, that we can work smarter and not necessarily harder. And it doesn't mean that we're not equipped. It just means that we're evolving, and we're allowing other opportunities that we just didn't think were possible before. And I think we in the Latino community are finally opening our eyes and broadening our perspective that our children have opportunities that we and their parents didn't have, and the benefits of that. So, which has been a real beautiful thing to see in the evolvement of it. And I have many examples of that with students and families that I've worked with, that they're not families that I work with. I consider us family, right? And so seeing that has been very, very beautiful for sure.
Yeah, so hard work is definitely another value that both cultures, and I think most of the cultures do have, is the belief in hard work.
Right.
And then at the same time, it's important to remember that hard work sometimes doesn't get you where we need to be.
That's right.
And so you gotta have smart work too, right?
That's right. A lot of smart work.
So and then when we get so smart, we say, okay, hard work is different from hardly working, and then another way is the working hard, right?
That's right.
So working hard is mainly very important, right?
Yes.
So that's hard work. It's hard to imagine anything good without hard work. You gotta work hard at it.
Yes.
But then important to always how can I do this smarter?
Right.
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 And so that hard work value system is very important.
And dreaming, right? Because I think there's been dreams.
Yes.
Right, of migration to the country and to the Bay Area is what. And talking to our families, because I've opened up many high-performing schools in our county, that I've always asked all of our families, Asian, Latino, whichever, what did you dream? What did you envision? And then how do we make those dreams come true?
Vision, having the dreams, the vision, and những cái ước vọng của mình đó, mình muốn đạt được cái gì đó thì là rất là quan trọng. Tại vì ngoài ra vấn đề gia đình, vấn đề học vấn, vấn đề làm việc, chịu khó làm việc, và dĩ nhiên là mình phải có một cái viễn tượng, một cái dream, and that's what they call the American dream.
That's right.
And it's to be able to achieve to a certain level of quality of life. So having that dream help us to go on when hard times face us, right? And so that's very important. So I find out that from our working in life, and we associate with people, and it's really important to go beyond the boundary of the comfort level that you're more familiar and comfortable with people of speaking the same language, having the same culture, that we go beyond that and we interact with, thank God for the workplace where it's more diverse. That's where we get to interact. And on the vice versa, they say that churches is where the segregation happened the most, right? So,
and in education in school.
And education in school, because we have to realize structurally there is disadvantages to some groups that when they are admitted to the top schools, it's not the same. And that's why we continue have to fight for accessibility, so that all children from all different ethnic groups, all different disadvantaged groups have the same opportunity of enrolling into great schools, so that they can be well trained. So that is something always it has structural challenges in that.
For sure.
And that's why people like yourself are taking the leadership of making sure that we break down those barriers so that all children have an opportunity to share that dream.
And I very strongly believe in opportunity. And that's why for me, the Eastside expansion, middle school, college access has been critical. That's an evolvement. Because if we allow opportunities for children, students in those ages, the likelihood of them continuing and improving their own family dynamics on a variety of levels, economically to start, will continue to evolve us and improve. And just having that access early on really makes a difference. And so I think that is something that, we're continuing to work to provide. And that's something I very much believe in. So
I know that you have helped establish a few schools. So you mentioned that a little earlier. Remind us again what are the names of those schools that you helped establish?
Yes. So Blanca Alvarado, which is currently when we opened it, it was middle school. So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And now it is from TK to 8th grade. Cindy Avitia, the high school, which is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, which currently is the same. Jose Hernandez, which also when we opened was middle school and is now K-8. And many of the rocket ship schools I've been a part of, not only supporting to open, but some of them initially, many, because we have, I don't know, probably close to 15 plus. I've kind of lost count on how many rocket ship schools that we currently have. And I definitely have played a part with many other families of the expansion of that. Supporting also KIPP schools, which are primarily middle school and high schools, ACE schools as well, Summit schools, DCP. I'm trying to think. There's been so many schools, and then within those, right, there's their own networks. So a tremendous amount of schools, which means hundreds of thousands of students who now have opportunities that they wouldn't have had before.
Thank you for all that work. I really appreciate you sharing that, because this is leading by example. So not only that you have values, but also you live out those values in action. And that is very inspiring to hear. So thưa quý vị, thì người mà khách cùng lo với chương trình này với Sam đó thì là bà Karen Martinez. Hiện giờ là bà là một vị trong hội đồng quản trị của hai trường đại học San Jose City College và Evergreen Valley College ở đây. Nhưng mà cái điểm mà bà nhấn mạnh là cái vấn đề giáo dục rất là quan trọng. Nhưng mà chẳng những là lời của bà nói không, nhưng mà là bà đã thực hành rất là nhiều. Là bà đã giúp là người mà đề xướng ra hoặc là hiệp tác để xây dựng nhiều cái trường học ở tại đây, như là cái trường gọi là tên là Blanca Alvarado School, là nó là middle school, xong rồi sau này nó là K8, là từ lớp mẫu giáo cho tới lớp 8. Rồi sau này là bà cũng mở cái trường nó gọi là Cynthia Avidia School, rồi có những cái trường như là Rocket Ship, KIPP. Những cái tên đó thưa quý vị là những cái tên của các cái trường rất là xuất sắc quý vị ạ. Và hàng trăm ngàn các em đã học từ những cái trường đó. Và dĩ nhiên trường DCP là Downtown College Repertory cũng giúp cho các em vào trường đại học. Và một vài cái trường khác mà bà có đề cập như mà quý vị nghe, như trường ACE và vân vân. Thưa quý vị, thì đây là một người mà rất là gọi rằng là đứng trong chức vụ lãnh đạo của các cái ngành giáo dục, và là những người đã từng mở các cái trường học ra mà đem lại rất là nhiều phúc lợi cho hàng trăm ngàn học sinh ở tại Santa Clara County này. Rất là hân hạnh được dịp được biết bà. So thank you very much. I think that for now, I think that's something that we mentioned about, values of the family, education, hard work, opportunity, living the dream, pursuing a dream, and that just go out there and take action and make it better for the community. And I think that when we interact with different communities, that's when we understanding more, and when the more we understand, the more we find out that we have mostly commonalities.
That's right.
That we need
Very
to stand
much.
together and build a better community.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're stronger together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
anything
Yeah.
else?
No.
Closing in Spanish?
Nomás que es importante que sabemos, y esto es algo, una parte a donde hemos crecido, que estamos más en comunidad con nosotros totalmente en nuestras culturas, con comida, con lugares de variedad, en particular educación. Pero muchas gracias por el tiempo y esperamos vernos pronto. Gracias.
So 3 words in Spanish
Let's see.
is family, that's familia.
Familia, how about culture?
Cultural,
Cultura.
and then opportunity, oportunidad.
You're
And,
good.
And then those other people can recognize that one, right? So I think those are great 3
I think
words.
those are great.
How about
Yes.
dream?
Sueños.
Sueños. Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
you, Trustee
Yes.
Karen Martinez.
Yes.
And thank you all.
Perfect. Thank
Have a
you.
good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.